The need for Christians to set their lives apart for godly use by being separated from sin, consecrated to God, and living in conformity to the moral precepts of the Bible has been stressed. The Anglican Bishop of Agwata Diocese, Right Reverend Samuel Ezeofor, in a sermon at St. Faith Anglican Church, Nanka, during a service of confirmation, admission into Girls' Guild, Women's Guild, and Men's Fellowship for all the parishes under Nanka Archdeaconry, said Christians owe it to God to serve Him in truth and spirit, as anyone who defies God's temple, which is human body, will attract God's destruction. We have details of that report.
He said that all mortals will someday give account of all that God has blessed them with, especially lives, and as such, it is important that Christians use their lives, resources, and talents to work for God as faithful stewards. Bishop Ezeofor regretted that some Christians are guilty of double standards. Despite belonging to different groups in the church, they still practice idolatry. The bishop, who outlined principles of stewardship to include divine ownership, human responsibility, accountability, and divine reward, reminded parents to train their children in the ways of the Lord and never relent in directing them to toe the right path, because they will be held accountable for the choices made by their children.
It's a time for young believers in Christ to receive the Holy Spirit, who enables us to live the Christian life and makes it easy and simple for us. Well, all these groups were created in the church to help us nurture the faith of Christians, so that they will live up to the pledges they made, the promises they made before God. And that's why we encouraged the men to help their wives and then the women to help their husbands when they get them, so that it will not just be making promises and pledges in church and then forgetting it as they go.
In his remarks, the supervising priest of Nanka Archdeaconry, Reverend Canon Ifeanyi Mbwemena, who appreciated the bishop for his visit, admonished the newly confirmed and people admitted into various groups to live lives worthy of emulation.
Their life will grow, they grow spiritually, and they show the light to others, being admitted into Girls' Guild, Women's Guild, and Fellowship. So we expect that they should live the exemplary life to others to emulate.
On his part, the vicar in charge of St. Faith Anglican Church, Nanka, Reverend Arinze Chukwu Odinye, commended the bishop and tasked Christians to remain steadfast in their faith.
I feel elated. It's really a privilege for the bishop to put such an event here. In fact, this is the first time it's happening in the church. Yes, we believe that the Holy Spirit that was prayed upon them today will carry them and will motivate them and energize them, empower them to live better Christian lives to the glory of God.
The service, attended by the President, Agwata Diocesan Women's Ministry, Mrs. Chinyere Ezeofor, had 33 candidates who received the sacrament of confirmation, 23 girls admitted into the Girls' Guild, 25 women into the Women's Guild, and 37 men admitted into the Christian Men's Fellowship. Presentation of certificates to the newly admitted members and administration of Holy Communion to the newly confirmed candidates formed the high point of the service.